ඉගෙන ගත්තේ නේද? එතකොට ඒක ඉවර කරා and then I ask you to do few homeworks as well, isn't it? I have given you few as well. Those who have done the homework, please share your works with me, okay? Just take a picture, even just a screenshot and just send it to me. හරි එදා අපි ක්ලාස් එකේදී ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරේ සූඩෝ කෝඩ් and flow charts කොහොමද ඩ්‍රව කරන්නේ. okay අපි ගොඩක් flow charts තමයි ඉගෙන ගත්තේ නේද? not flow charts, pseudo codes තමයි ඔයාලා ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරේ. so මම අර flow charts වල අර pseudo codes වලට ඔයාලට flow charts ලියා ගන්න නැත්නම් draw කරගෙන එන්න කියලා තමයි කිව්වේ. isn't it? அப்ப நான் லாஸ்ட் கிளாஸ்ல என்ன சொன்னேன், நீங்க ஃப்ளோ சார்ட்ஸை வந்து வரைஞ்சு கொண்டு வாங்க. நாங்க எழுதிக்கிற இந்த சூடோ கோட்ஸுக்கான ஃப்ளோ சார்ட்ஸை எழுதி சொன்னா வரைங்கன்னு சொன்னேன். so I hope you might have practiced at home. Now what we gonna do is today we will be starting to program. okay so program කරන්න තමයි අද පටන් ගන්න යන්නේ. so then programming කියන්නේ දැන් ඔයාලට දන්නවා අපි computer language එකක් පාවිච්චි කරලා computer එකට instruction දෙන එකනේ, isn't it? we just give commands to the computer. so for that what we do, we can't just command the computer to do something using human language, right? அப்ப human language ஒன்றை வச்சு எங்களுக்கு computer இதை செய் அதை செய்யன்னு சொல்லலாம். so for that there are several languages, we call it as high level languages. එතකොට ඔයාලට මම කියලා දුන්න එකක් තමයි මේ SDLC කියන එක. okay let me share the screen. SDLC, I hope you can remember. SDLC කියන්නේ system development life cycle නැත්නම් software development life cycle කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. okay system development life cycle කියලා කිව්වොත් හොඳයි. so then මේ වගේ system development life cycle එක ගත්තාම analyzing. okay analyzing කියලා කියන්නේ gathering all the requirement. හරි requirement කියලා කියන්නේ මොනවද පුතා? requirement சொன்னா என்ன? we get the requirement whatever the client needs, isn't it? they will tell what they need actually in their system. என்ன அப்ப அவங்க சொல்றது எல்லாத்தையும் நாங்க என்ன செய்வோம்? எழுதி எடுத்துக்கொள்வோம். if not we record it, isn't it? so gathering the requirement is the first step. so getting the requirement, at once we can't design it. என்ன டிசைனுக்கோ டெவலப்மெண்ட்க்கோ போயலாம். அப்ப அதை அனலைஸ் பண்ண வேணும். இவங்களுக்கு முக்கியம் என்னத்தான் வேணும். ஓகே ஸோ இதுல என்னென்ன ஃபீச்சர்ஸ் இருக்கணும், இதுல என்ன பட்டன்ஸ் நாங்க இன்க்ளூட் பண்ணணும், எந்த மாதிரியான ஃபங்க்ஷனாலிட்டிஸ் அவங்க வந்து எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்றாங்க. ஸோ வி ஹாவ் டு கம் அப் வித் அன் அனலைஸ்மெண்ட் what they are actually expecting from you. okay that means what are the functionalities that they wanted to be there in their system. okay and even if it is a website or even though if it is a software, you have to understand what they are actually asking you to do. okay without having the idea or else a knowledge what they are actually asking you to do, you cannot just design come up with a design. okay so design එකක් given design කරන්න ඕන thing, you have to come up with an analyzement. you have to analyze කියලා කියන්නේ coming to a conclusion. after doing the analyzement you will be designing it. designing එකේ තමයි දැන් අපි මෙච්චර කාලේ අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තේ like almost 2 days we were learning this flow charts and pseudocode එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ ඒක designing pattern එකක්. ඒ වගේම pseudocode flow charts කියන්නේ ඒ වගේ එකක් තමයි. so you guys know how to draw a flow chart, at the same time how we can write a pseudocode කියන එක නේද? දැන් ඒකට practice ඔක්කොම කරලා ඉවරයි. now what we gonna do is we are gonna do the code and implementation section. okay මේක තමයි දැන් අද අපි පටන් ගන්න යන්නේ. so for today what we will be doing is console application එකක්, command print එකක් වගේ තමයි අපි run කරලා බලන්න යන්නේ. we not gonna design any form application or anything, we'll just code. okay code කොහොමද කරන්නේ, coding. okay programming කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා තමයි මම අද කියලා දෙන්නේ. so today's programming will be done using what? C# programming language. okay එතකොට C# කියන high level programming language එක තමයි අද මුලින්ම අපි ඉගෙන ගන්න start කරන්නේ. and then there is a presentation. this is the presentation where I will be giving you the clear definition or else the idea about the Java programming. okay Java programming එක තමයි ඊට පස්සේ next class එකේ ඉඳලා අපි program කරන්න use කරන language එක. එතකොට මේකෙන් මම ඔයාලට object oriented programming කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා දෙනවා. okay so for that today අපි මේකට යන්න කලින් නිකන් ඔයාලට programming idea එක දෙන්න තමයි මම බලන්නේ. හරි so we have this presentation where we have all the what we call all our pseudo codes and flowcharts, isn't it? so then we'll just go through it and then what we can do is we can develop it. What DISC, let's keep it open and now then balanna Okay. So simple example leke indalama yang. So before we get into this example, I'll just wanted to show you. So this is the platform or else IDE that I am going to use to program C# programming. Okay. Then මේ වගේ ගොඩාක් IDEs තියෙනවා. හරි Eclipse කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා, NetBeans කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. මේ වගේ even in your notepad you can code. හරිද? text editor එකක් IDE එකක් තිබ්බොතින් ඔයාට මොන වුණත් කරන්න පුළුවන්. මොන programming language උනත් පාවිච්චි කරලා ඔයාට ඕන දෙයක් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. But when it comes to when it comes to Visual Studio, this IDE has been specially designed to code C# programming. Understood? So there are many other programs that you can do, but mostly C# programming කරන්න තමයි අපි මේ Visual Studio කියන මේ platform එක පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. මේ වගේම තව platform එකක් තියෙනවා NetBeans කියලා. ඒ NetBeans කියන software එක නැත්නම් IDE එක අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ in order to program Java applications. Okay, Java programming. එතකොට අපි මම ඒකට එන්නම් පස්සේ වෙලාවකට ඔයාලට මම තේරුම් ඒක explain කරන්නම්. So don't worry much about it. Okay, අර ලොකු දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. මේක නිකන් platform එකක්. හරි? So මේක ඔයාලට download කරගන්න පුළුවන් internet එකේ Visual Studio latest version කියලා ඔයාලට type කරලා නිකන් search කරලා බලන්න, then you will get the link and just in Microsoft, I think Microsoft website එකෙන්ම ඔයාලට මේක download කරගන්න පුළුවන් free software. හරි? So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new project. So soon after you open the project, it would look like something like this. Then අපි යන් file එකට ගිහින් you can just click on new and then project. එහෙම නැත්නම් here new project කියලා තියෙන මේ start page එකෙන්ම තියෙනවා. You can click on it and then you can open it and create a new project itself. And then in this, I'll just explain. The recent section shows you what are the recent files that you were editing. Okay, ඒ වගේම ඔයා already edit කරගෙන හිටපු නැත්නම් code කරගෙන හිටපු program කරගෙන හිටපු මොනාරි project එකක් open කරන්න ඕන thing, you can go to the open project and click on it and then just open it. Okay, so we'll be doing that, so don't worry. So now first step is here, as I was explaining, under the template section you can see that there is something called Visual C#. So this has been specially designed. The Visual Studio IDE has been designed for what? C# programming. C# programming එකට කියලා තමයි මේක mainly design කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒක විතරක් නෙවෙයි, ඔයාලට Visual Basic code කරන්න පුළුවන්, C++, SQL create කරන්න පුළුවන්, JavaScript, Python code කරන්න පුළුවන්, මේ වගේ ගොඩාක් තියෙනවා. Okay? So ඔයා මේකෙන් ඔයාට ඕනේ template එක තමයි select කරගන්න ඕනේ. Okay, நீங்க என்ன ப்ரோக்ராமிங்ல கோட் பண்ண போறீங்கன்றதை நீங்க அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிக்கொள்ளணும், ஃபர்ஸ்ட்டுக்கு தெரிஞ்சுக்கொள்ளணும். அதுக்கு பிறகு நீங்க அந்த ப்ரோக்ராமிங் லாங்குவேஜை வந்து இன்னைக்கு செலக்ட் பண்ணிக்கொள்ளணும் டெம்ப்ளேட்டை. Understood? So if you are about to code in C++, then you have to select the Visual C++. Okay, so that will give you the interface where it has all these methods and namespaces where you can easily code and create a program. விளங்கிச்சா? அப்ப ப்ரோக்ராமிங் ஈஸியா பண்ணிக்கொள்றதுக்காக வேண்டி நீங்க இதுல இருக்கிற உங்களுக்கு தேவையான ஜாவாஸ்கிரிப்ட் கோட் பண்றீங்கன்னா ஜாவாஸ்கிரிப்ட், எந்த ப்ரோக்ராமிங் லாங்குவேஜ் நீங்க யூஸ் பண்றீங்களோ அதுக்கான டெம்ப்ளேட்டை வந்து செலக்ட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. So as I going to teach you Visual C#, okay, C# නේ ඔයාට මුලින්ම මම කියලා දෙන යන programming language එක. එතකොට අපි C# කියන මේක select කරගමු. So soon after you select the C# programming, you will get something like this on the right side of the window. Then මේකේ තියෙනවා ඔයාට ඕනේද Windows Form application. They are asking whether you need to create Windows Form application. Windows Form application means something like this. Here, this is a Windows Form application. Here you have this close button, OK button, cancel button. So we call this as a Windows Form application. Okay, then මෙයාලා අහනවා ඔයාට Windows Form application එක අත හදා ගන්න ඕනේ කියලා. சரி, இவங்க கேக்குறாங்க உங்களுக்கு Windows Form application ஒண்டா வேணும், இல்லாட்டி WPF application ஒண்டா வேணும், ASP.NET web application create பண்ண போறீங்களா, இல்லாட்டி libraries create பண்ண போறீங்களா, என்ன செய்ய போறீங்க? Then you have to select this console application. අපි දැනට මොකුත් design කරගෙන එහෙම ඉන්න. We just gonna code. For that you can select console application. Soon after you select this console application, it will show you the namespace over here. Name එක මොනවාද ඔයා දෙන්න යන්නේ කියලා. එතකොට අපි දෙමුකෝ software, not software, right? Programming. එතකොට අපි කියමු programming underscore console underscore demo 1 කියලා කියමු. okay so ඔයා මේ වගේ name එක දීලා location එක කොහෙද මේක save වෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා ඔයාට select කරගන්න පුළුවන්. சரியா இது எங்க save பண்ணணும்னு சொல்லி இன்னைக்கு location select பண்ணிக்கோங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் solution name is the same name. So we have to click on OK button, then the project will be created. මෙහෙම තමයි ඔයා project අලුතින් project එකක් හදා ගන්නව නම් Visual Studio එකේදී Visual Studio latest version එකේ වුණත් ඔයාට මේ වගේ තමයි create කරගන්න වෙන්නේ. Go to file, open project, project එකේ console application කියන එක select කරගන්න. Then you will be taken into something like this. So now I am in the programs කියන class එකේ තුලේ තමයි මං ඉන්නේ. දැන් මේ class ගැන මං හැම දෙයක් ගැනම පස්සේ ඔයාලට කියලා දෙනවා. Don't worry much about this. class කියන්නේ මොනවාද, object එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ මොනවාද, method එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ මොනවාද, ඔක්කොම මං කියලා දෙන්නම්. Okay so we call so here what you see here static void main කියන එක තමයි method කියලා අපි කියන්නේ. So later on I will be teaching this clearly. For now we just gonna like I'm going to introduce you programming. That is what I'm going to do. Programming එක introduce කරන එක තමයි මම කරන්න යන්නේ. அலங்கிச்சா உங்களுக்கு ஒரு இன்ட்ரடக்ஷனை மட்டும் தாரேன். ப்ரோக்ராமிங் தான் இப்படித்தான் நீங்க கோட் பண்ணணும் இந்த மாதிரி. அப்ப நாங்க இவ்வளவு நாளும் படிச்ச சூடோ கோட்ஸ் ஃப்ளோ சார்ட்ஸுக்கான ஒரு அர்த்தம் வேணும் தானே. அப்ப நாங்க அதை படிச்சதுக்கு ஓகே அதுக்கான ஒரு ப்ரோக்ராமிங் ப்ராக்டிஸை பண்ணிக்கொண்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் நாங்க ஜாவா என்ன ஜாவாக்கு போறோம் டபிள்யூபி கான்செப்ட் என்ன அதெல்லாம் படிப்போம். ஓகே ஸோ தென் මේකේ බලන්න දැන් ඔයා මේක ඕපන් කරාට පස්සේ name space එක අපි දුන්නර prog console demo 1 කියන එක තමයි ඔයාට මෙතන වැටෙන්නේ. කියන්නේ මේක තමයි අපි create කරලා තියෙන project name එක name space කියලා තියෙනවා. ඒක ඇතුලේ program කියලා class එකක් තියෙනවා. මම ඔයාලට පස්සේ මේක explain කරන්නම්. And then we have a method called static void main string args කියලා. So then මේක ඇතුලේ තමයි අපි අපිට ඕන දේවල් ඔක්කොම code කරගන්න යන්නේ. Okay so then you have to type whatever that you wanted to run in the computer or else in the console application inside this static void main method in between this open and closing braces. Okay that has to be clear. விளங்கிச்சா? நீங்க என்ன டைப் பண்றீங்கன்றாலும் என்ன ஒரு ப்ரோக்ராம் ரன் பண்றீங்கன்றாலும் அது இந்த static void main என்று சொல்ற இந்த மெயின் மெத்தட்குள்ள இருக்கிற இந்த பிரேசஸ்க்கு நடுவுல தான் நீங்க கோட் பண்ண வேணும். I hope it is clear. So now we gonna do a small program. First මුලින්ම අපි program පොඩි program එකක් කරමු. Then ඒකට අපි මොනවද කරන්න යන්නේ නම් there are some things puta even when you are designing or else developing or else coding. Now as I was explaining, I think at the beginning I was explaining each and every file, whatever the file that you have in your computer has its own file type. Okay then image එකක් ගත්තොත් JPG image කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන් නේද? ඒ වගේම තියෙනවා file එකක් ගත්තොත් txt dot ඒ වගේ නේද තියෙන්නේ text file එකක්. docs file කියන්නේ අපි word documents වලට. ඒ වගේම PDF එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ PDF kind of a document වලට. එතකොට මේ වගේ හැම එකකටම type එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම තමයි datas. Okay then ඔයාගේ computer එකට අපි මොනවද යවන්නේ? Mainly we will be passing datas, isn't it? Even though if you are just programming, that means you are typing something to pass as the data. Okay එතකොට ඒ datas වලට කියලා data type එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒකේ අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් string data type කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම තියෙනවා float data type කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම තියෙනවා double කියලා data type එකක් තියෙනවා. boolean කියලා තියෙනවා. මේ වගේ ගොඩක් data types තියෙනවා. float කියලා data types තියෙනවා. Likewise there are many data types available. So when we take data type like string data type, that includes your name, address. You can type whatever you want in between this string data type. තේරුණාද? string කියලා කියන්නේ ඔයාලට ඕන එකක්. දැන් අපි address එකක් ගත්තොත් ඒකේ letters තියෙනවා, symbols තියෙනවා, numbers තියෙනවා, හැම එකක්ම තියෙනවනේ. So we can call that as string data type. ඒ වගේම ඔයාගේ නමත් ඒ වගේම තමයි string data type එකක් කියලා කියනවා. integer කියලා කිව්වොත් your age is an integer data type. තේරුණාද? age ඔයාගේ age එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ දැන් age එක අපිට කියන්න බෑනේ ඒක letter එකක් නැත්නම් text එකක් අපි පාවිච්චි කරලා තියනවා කියලා. It just a number නේද? number එකක්. දැන් ඒ වගේම තමයි it is not even a decimal number. Decimal number එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ you will have this point values, right? ඒ කියන්නේ 19.85 ඒ වගේ අර point value එකක් තියෙන එකට තමයි decimal value එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ. එහෙනම් நாங்க சொல்லும் தசம எண்கள்னு சொல்லி so இந்த தசம எண்களுமே வந்து இன்டிஜர்னு சொல்ற டேட்டா டைப்ல வராது. என்ன சொன்னா இப்போ நாங்க எங்க ஏஜ் சொல்லக்கொள்ளே யாராச்சும் உங்களோட ஏஜ் கேட்டீங்கன்னா 20.35 அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவீங்களா? இல்லைனா 20னா 20, 23னா 23 அந்த மாதிரி தான் சொல்லுவீங்க. ஒரு ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு நம்பரை தான் சொல்லுவீங்க. ஸோ நாங்கள் அந்த மாதிரி நம்பர் ஒன்றுக்கு சொல்லுவோம் இன்டிஜர் டேட்டான்னு சொல்லி. அதே நாங்க ஃப்ளோட் எடுத்துக்கொண்டோம் அப்படி சொன்னா தசம எண்கள் தானே அதுல இன்க்ளூட் பண்ணப்படும். தசம எண்களும் அதுல இன்க்ளூட் பண்ணப்படலாம். அப்ப உங்களுக்கு இப்ப 19.15 அப்படி ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு வேல்யூ வைக்கணும்னு சொன்னா உங்களுக்கு அதை வந்து சொல்லலாம். இது ஒரு ஃப்ளோட் டேட்டா, அப்படி இல்லாட்டி டபுள் டேட்டான்னு சொல்லலாம். ஓகே, so Putha, you have to be clear. Integer data type is like when someone asks you your age, then you won't tell that my age is 20 point, likewise you won't tell a decimal value for them, right? So you just at once you will just tell the well, like a number 20, then you just tell 20, right? You won't tell just a decimal value. So for that kind of a data type, we just call it as integer data. Okay, string එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ you can have numbers, symbols, letters, whatever you want. But when it comes to integers, you can have just only numbers. Okay, not even decimal number. But when it comes to float data, you can have decimal values. Okay, point values තියෙන්න පුළුවන් ඔයාට 19.35 ඒ වගේ points value තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේම double කියන්නත් ඒ වගේම තමයි double float එකට වඩා ලොකු length තියෙන්න පුළුවන් ඒකේ. ඒ වගේම තියෙනවා boolean කියලා එකක්. Boolean means yes or no, true or false. ඒ වගේ data types වලට අපි කියනවා boolean කියලා. So now let me program a small coding, a small program and show you. Then while we are practicing, you will understand more about these data types. Don't worry, okay? So the first thing what I am going to do is I am going to create a variable in the computer. So variable එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ මොනවද කියලා මම ඔයාලට කියලා දෙන්නම්. So I hope it is there in this presentation. Let me explain about the variables and then we can move on to the coding, because you have to know about the variables first of all. Yeah. So when it comes to coding, when it comes to programming, you have something called separators. Separators කියලා කියන්නේ like here, even when I was showing this, you had this parentheses, braces, okay, everything is there, right? So අපි මේකේ බලන්න parentheses කියලා කියන්නේ මේ වගේ නිකන් opening and closing brackets වලට තමයි අපි parentheses කියලා කියන්නේ. Curly brackets වලට අපි කියනවා braces කියලා. Brackets කියලා කියන්නේ box brackets වලට. Semicolon, commas, period symbol. So all these separators are used when you are programming something in the computer. Okay, so later on, even while we are coding, we will use all these parentheses, all these separators when we are doing coding. Okay, and normally we use these operators as well. මොනාරි addition එකක් තියෙනවා නම් we use this plus and then minus, subtract කරන්න ඕනේ නම් divide කරන්න අපිට division මේක use කරන්න පුළුවන්, multiplication එකට and greater than, less than බලන්නට මේ වගේ අපි මේ වගේ operators use කරනවා when we are doing programming. So later on you will understand that as well. And variables. Variable means where we will assign something. Let me draw and show you in the paint. So you guys know that in your computer you have something called RAM ned. Random access memory කියලා එකක් තියෙනවනේ. ඔයාලට தெரியுமே னா random access memory ன்னு சொல்லி உங்களோட கம்ப்யூட்டர்ல ஒன்று இருக்குது. So you guys, you might have learned when your computer is working, it works like this. Then හිතන්නකෝ මම Visual Studio එක run කරනවා කියලා. එතකොට මේ random access memory එකේ තියෙනවා slots කියලා. හරි? Slots තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඒ slots වලින් ඒක like it's like a train. Okay. In train what we have this like separate boxes, right? We have separate like sections. So same as that, your RAM also have slots. හරිද? then හිතන්නකෝ මම මගේ computer එකේ PowerPoint එක run කරනවා කියලා. Then at the beginning, when you started your computer and once after you open something, that will be located in one slot. Okay, ඊට පස්සේ දැන් හිතන්නකෝ මෙතන PowerPoint එක තමයි මේ display වෙන්නේ කියලා, මේක store වෙලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා. It's like randomly it will take. ඒ වගේම මේක permanently store කරගන්න data. හරිද? Soon after you shut down your computer, everything will be erased from the random access memory. So whenever you need only, it will take and store and give it to you. තේරුණාද? දැන් ඔයා නිදා ගන්නකොට ඔයාගේ brain එකේ මොනාරි තියෙනවද? No, right? So soon after you wake up from your sleep, then you will remember things. You have something like this, like morning breakfast එක ගන්න ඕනේ, I have to brush my teeth. Likewise, you have things like in your mind. නේද? ඒ වගේ තමයි මේකෙත් slots තියෙනවා. Soon after you open Google Chrome, it will be located in one particular slot. තේරුණාද? මේ වගේ ඔයා ඕපන් කරන හැම එකක්ම මේ වගේ ස්ලොට්ස් වලින් ගිහින් තමයි සේව් වෙලා තමයි ඔයා මේ RAM එකෙන් ඉඳලා තමයි ඔයා දැන් බලාගෙන ඉන්නේ ඔක්කොම බලාගෙන ඉන්නේ. Understood? So it comes from the random access memory. புத்தா கோடிங் செஷன் ரெக்கார்டிங் எவ்ரிதிங் நான் இது எல்லாமே வந்து ரெக்கார்டிங்ஸ் எல்லாமே மேனேஜ்மெண்ட்ல தான் நிக்கும் நீங்க யூ ஹேவ் டு டாக் டு கெட்விக் காலேஜ் ஓகே ஸோ ஐ வில் ஜஸ்ட் டூ ஒன்லி த செஷன்ஸ் ஓகே ஐ வில் பி டூயிங் ஒன்லி லெக்சரிங் சரியா நான் லெக்சரிங் மட்டும் தான் பண்ணுவேன் என்கிட்ட எந்த ரெக்கார்டிங்ஸுமோ எதுவுமே இருக்காது நான் ஈவன் ஐ எம் நாட் இன் த குரூப் ஓகே ஸோ நான் வந்து ஜஸ்ட் உங்களுக்கு கண்டக்ட் பண்றது மட்டும் தான் வேண்ட வேலை அப்போ நீங்க என்ன செய்யணும்டா உங்களுக்கு ரெக்கார்டிங்ஸ் இல்ல இல்லாட்டி உங்களுக்கு அந்த டீடைல்ஸ் எதுவும் இல்லாட்டி நீங்க கெட்விக் காலேஜோட கொஞ்சம் பேசி அவங்கள்ட்ட இருந்து மேனேஜ்மெண்ட்ல இருந்து கொஞ்சம் அவங்களோட ரிக்வெஸ்ட்டை கொடுங்க சரியா எங்களுக்கு கிடைக்கல அதனால ரெக்கார்டிங்ஸ் தாங்கன்னு சொல்லி ஓகே புத்தா நீங்க அதை செஞ்சுக்கோங்க கொஞ்சம் அவங்களோட பேசி அதை எடுத்துக்கோங்க பிகாஸ் ஐ டோன்ட் ஹாவ் எனி ரெக்கார்டிங்ஸ் புத்தா தட்ஸ் வை எனக்கிட்ட எந்த ஒரு ரெக்கார்டிங்ஸும் இல்லை அதனால எனக்கிட்ட எதுவுமே இல்லை உங்களுக்கு தாரத்துக்கு ஈவன் தோ இஃப் யூ ஆஸ்க் ரிக்வெஸ்ட் மீ ஓகே சரி இப்ப பாருங்க நீங்க இது நான் இன்றைக்கு நான் சொல்லி தரது ஒரு புதிய விஷயம் நாங்க இன்னும் வந்து கோட் பண்றதுக்கு எதுவுமே ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணல சரியா நான் உங்களுக்கு இந்த பிரசன்டேஷன்ல காட்டினேன் தானே இந்த எஸ்டிஎல்சின்னு சொல்லி உண்டு இந்த எஸ்டிஎல்சில வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பிகினிங்ல ரிக்வயர்மெண்ட் கெதர் பண்ணினது போறோம் நாங்க எந்த மாதிரி ஒரு டிசைன் செய்வோமோ அந்த தான் நான் படிச்சு கொடுத்தேன் இவ்வளவு நாளும் இப்ப நாங்க அதே டிசைனை டெவலப் பண்ணத்தான் போறோம் ஸோ யூ ஹாவ் டு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் புத்தா when you are creating a variable in your computer variable එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ මේ වගේ slot එකක් වෙන් කරනවා ඒ slot එකට අපි වෙනම name එකක් උත් දෙනවා a කියලා හිතමුකෝ a කියලා name එක දීලා then මේ slot එකට user 100 කියලා input එකක් දුන්නොත් ඒ 100 මෙතන ගිහින් ස්ටෝර් වෙනවා. එහෙම නැත්නම් 200 කියලා දුන්නොත් 200 කියලා මෙතන ස්ටෝර් වෙනවා. එහෙමත් නැත්නම් මොනාරි නමක් ලියුව කියලා කියමුකෝ නදීරා කියලා ඉන්පුට් එකක් දුන්න කියලා ඒ නදීරා කියන ටෙක්ස්ට් එක name එක ගිහින් මෙතන ස්ටෝර් වෙනවා. Understood? So I'll just explain you in another way. Assume that there is a classroom. Okay? And in the classroom assume that these are chairs. Okay? මේක chairs කියලා හිතා ගන්න. මේකට අපි කියමු A කියලා name දීලා තියනවා කියලා ඒ වගේම මේකට අපි දීලා තියෙනවා B කියලා name එකක් මේකට අපි දීලා තියෙනවා C කියලා name එක හිතා ගන්න හරි so each of these are known as variable so we have created a variable and then we have given a name to it still there is no any value කවුරුත් මෙතන තාම sit karla na kila tanna okay there is no one sitting right now okay so then that means there is no any value so soon after the user given the input user input එක දුන්නාම තමයි මෙතන කවුරු හරි ඇවිල්ලා වාඩි වෙන්නේ තේරුණාද මේ වගේ තමයි මේකත් වැඩ කරන්නේ so we will be allocating a slot then we will be giving a name so soon after the user give an input to the system then it will be going and storing in that particular location that's what will happen so maybe කියන කෙනාට user input එකක් දුන්නොත් ඒ input එක ගිහින් මෙතන වාඩි වෙනවා මෙතන store වෙනවා එච්චරයි වෙන්නේ දැන් මෙතන හිතන්නකො නිකන් දීපක් කියලා මෙතන type කරා කියලා එයාගේ name එක එතකොට මෙතන ගිහින් ඒක store වෙනවා understood same as that only the variables works okay I'll explain you through this so variable එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ a memory location which temporarily okay not permanent you have to make sure that it is a temporary location okay ඒ කියන්නේ locate කරලා තියෙන memory එකේදී store කරලා temporarily store තමයි එතන තියෙන්නේ temporarily store data that can change during the execution of the program and you have to make sure that to understand මෙතන B 100 කියලා මෙතන සිට් කරලා තියෙන කියලා හිතමුකෝ දැන් C කියලා තැනක් තියෙනවා chair එකක් තියෙනවා දැන් මම කියනවා එක්කෙනෙක්ට දැන් X කියලා person කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා එයාට ගිහින් මෙතන ස්ටිට් කරගන්න කියලා so assume that he is coming and sitting then even though if I just wanted to change another person y කියලා කෙනෙක් එනවා කියලා හිතමුකෝ so මට මෙයාව නෙගිටිලා යන්න කියලා මෙයාව මට මෙතන ස්ටෝර් කරන්නත් පුළුවන් understood so that can be changed not only one data can be stored there it can be changed the execution එක change වෙන්න පුළුවන් during the execution the data can be changed as well එතකොට අපි data variable එකක් හදා ගන්නකොට when we are creating a variable in our computer data type එක අනිවාර්යෙන් කියන්න ඕනේ what data type actually has to come and sit in this place කියන එක අනිවාර්යෙන් කියන්න ඕනේ at the same time we have to create an identifier so this is how we create a variable and an identifier so then මෙතන බලන්න syntax එක syntax එක තමයි මෙතන දීලා තියෙන්නේ data type එක අපි කියන්න ඕනේ and then identifier. So integer කියන එක තමයි data identifier කියලා කිව්වොතින් okay data type එක කියලා කිව්වොතින් identifier is age. So user is going to give the age as an input, okay, and then it is an integer data type. So if it is a string data type, then we can say that address එක string data type එක input එකක් විදිහට ගන්න පුළුවන්. If not, we can get the name as an input from the user as the string data type. Likewise, there are many. Like I'll just type and show you. Then හිතන්නකෝ string data type කියලා මෙතන තියෙනවා කියලා. We will go and do a small coding, then you will understand. So now then මම මෙතන මොනවද කරන්න යන්නේ නම් string data type එකක් then මම මෙතන create කරන්න තමයි යන්නේ. හරි? string data type එකක් create කරනවා මම මෙතන. So අපි කියමු දැන් මේක තමයි data type එක. So data identifier කියලා කියන්න ඕනේ. කියන්නේ අපි chair එකක් හදනවා නම් ඒ chair එකේ කවුද ඉන්න ඕනේ. Okay, only human ද නැත්නම් dogs ද නැත්නම් cats ද නැත්නම් birds ද ඒ වගේ අපි type එක මොන type එකද මෙතන store වෙන්න ඕනේ කියන එක අනිවාර්යෙන් කියන්න ඕනේ. ඒ වගේම එයාට අපි අනිවාර්යෙන් නමක් දෙන්න ඕනේ. So then only we can say B කියලා එතන chair එකක් තියෙනවා. එතන ගිහින් වාඩි වෙන්න කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන් නේද? So then that's why we give an identifier name over here. So we can just say A, B, C or else A, X, Y or name. Name එක input එකක් විදිහට ගන්නවා නම් we can tell that name or n මොනාරි එකක් variable name එක you can give whatever. So I'll just tell name. Name කියන variable එකට තමයි variable value එක අපි අරන් දෙන්න යන්නේ. So now user is going to give the input. So we have to tell that user ඔයාගේ name එක input එකක් විදිහට දෙන්න කියලා. In order to get the input, we have to tell them. Label එකක් විදිහට අපි කියන්න ඕනේ. ඒකට තමයි අපි කියනවා console මේක console application එකකින්ද console write line කරමු. Write line means you will display whatever output එකක් මේක. Okay, it's not an input, you will just output whatever you type in between this will get displayed as it is. Okay, so we'll just tell enter කරන්න enter your name කියලා. අපි user කාටද කියන්නේ? We are just giving this instruction to the user. So user will understand මම මෙයාට input එක දෙන්න ඕනෙලු කියලා. So then to get the input we have to assign someone, right? එතකොට මෙයා දෙන input එක කවුරු හරි ගන්න ඕනේනේ. එතකොට අපි කියමු name කියන කෙනාට name you just get the input from where? From whatever. Now here we are just telling input එක මෙයා දුන්නට පස්සේ ඔයා මේක ගන්න කියලා. So we'll just tell කවුද මෙතන console dot read line කරලා ගන්න. මෙතන අපි type කරන ඒ value එක read line කරලා මේ name කියන කෙනාට දෙන්න. දැන් හිතන්නකෝ අපි මේ program එක run කරනකොට මොනවාද වෙන්නේ? When we are running the program, it will display something called like saying that enter your name. So then user what they will do? They will just enter. So this part, the console read line will be reading whatever the user's input that has been given, and then it will pass it to name. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ variable ට දෙනවා. එතකොට මොනවාද වෙන්නේ? මෙතන value එකක් store වෙනවා. Here a value will be stored. So this is what we have actually done. Okay, I'll explain. So in the memory location we have allocated a place saying string, make a data, make a only string data type can be stored. Okay, that also has to be mentioned. Only string data type can be stored. Okay, and then here we have given the name as name. මෙයාට අපි නමක් දීලා තියෙනවා identifier එකක් විදියට name කියලා. එතකොට අපි දෙන්න මොනවද කියන්නේ? user දෙන input එක name කියන මේ location එකේ ගිහින් store වෙන්න. So then whatever the input that we are giving will be stored in this location as string data. Only string data can be given. Okay, I hope it is clear. And finally we can say මේ console application එක read line කරලා අපිට නැත්තම් read key දෙන්නත් පුළුවන් අපිට display කරන්න කියලා. read line කරන්න full application එකම read line කරලා display කරන්න කියලා. Now let's run the program. Start කරන්න. Here on top of here you have the start button. Just clicking on it you can easily start the program. Hari, start the program and then you will be seeing something like saying that enter your name, a label kind of thing. சரியா? இப்போ உங்களுக்கு ஒரு லேபிள் ஒன்று டிஸ்ப்ளே ஆகும். என்ன சொல்லி உங்களோட நேமை இன்புட் பண்ணுங்க அப்படின்னு ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு லேபிள் ஒன்று வந்து உங்களுக்கு டிஸ்ப்ளே ஆகும். let it build let it run, still building. So you will get a black color screen. Console application එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ command primitive වගේ. You will just have a black screen where it has this label and all. Okay. Okay, it's running, loading. Wait. If you have any doubts, you may ask me. Okay. உங்களுக்கு எதுவும் doubts வரந்தா கேளுங்க. string name කියන්නේ variable එකක්. අපි කියලා තියෙනවා මෙතන string data විතරයි stock වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේම එයාට මම දැනට නමක් දෙන්නම්. ඒක name කියන එක තමයි එයාගේ නම. console right line එකේ කියලා තියෙනවා මේ enter your name කියන තමයි අපි console right line එකේ කියලා තියෙන්නේ. So now we know user know මෙතන අපි name එක තමයි input දෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා. Assume that I am typing Shafia. That's all the input is. Okay. අපිට input එක දෙන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් අපිට නිකන් හිතන්නකෝ your name is Shafia, welcome Shafia වගේ note එකක් display කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා. So for that also you can do a small coding. So saying that console ඔයා පොඩි right line එකක් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒක තමයි welcome කරන්න ඕනේ මේ user. Then we'll tell that welcome කියලා මෙතන type කරලා welcome මෙතන space එකක් තියමු. Because we are just going to add the name. So you have to come out of the double quotation because Puta, whatever that you type in between the double quotation will get displayed as it is. So if you are merging something or else adding, including something with the label, you have to come out of the double quotation and add the plus symbol and then may name කියන variable එක add කරන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙතන දෙන name එක welcome කියන note එකත් එක්ක display වෙන්න ඕනේ. Okay, so let's run it again and see how does the program works. So here it is asking you to enter the name. So if I just type, let's say Dumidu, okay. මෙතන මම type කරන්න කිලිතමු do and enter. Welcome Dumidu. Is it clear? So you have done a program. So likewise programming එක පාවිච්චි කරලා you can do whatever you want. Programming කියලා කියන්නේ you can do, even you can just design. Okay, design කරන්න පුළුවන් මොන වුණත් ඔයාලට කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේ අර power එකක් තියෙන එක තමයි මේ කියන්නේ programming කියන්නේ, because you are just giving instruction to the computer. So just the computer will get the instruction and then it will do according to the instruction. It will work according to the instruction. That's what it will do. Okay, බලන්න නිකන් මෙතන අපි variable එකක් හදලා තියෙනවා name කියලා. එයාට අපි user දෙන input එක read line කරලා දෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ අපි write line කරනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ write line කියන්නේ output එකක්. welcome කියලා මෙතන දුන්න input name එක display කරනවා. ඊට පස්සේ මේ program එකම read line කරලා display කරන එක තමයි මෙයා කරන්නේ. Okay, I hope you got it. Now let's do a program which is in our presentation. මේක කරමුද? Getting two numbers as an input and then answer එක display කරනවා add කරලා answer is කියලා. Let's do this pseudo code in a real programming. Okay, then මම මේකෙන්ම කරන්නම්. Okay, நான் இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம்ல செய்றேன் என்று சொன்ன இன்னும் நாங்க செஞ்சு கொண்டு கிரியேட் பண்ணினோம்னு சொன்னா வேற கஷ்டமாயிக்கும். எனக்கு இது good programs தேவையில்ல, because I have already a ton of programs in my computer. But when you are doing, you can go to file and go to new project එකට යන්න, and then you can create new projects. A console application අලුතින් එකක් පටන් ගත්තා නම් හොඳයි. Okay, for each program just create new projects. But I'm going to do it in the same project, which is program console demo 1. Okay, so then here what we're going to do is then මං string data type එකක් නෙවෙයි create කරන්න යන්නේ. Okay, நான் இப்போ என்ன செய்ய போறேன்னு சொன்னா integer නැත්නම් float ඒ වගේ මොන වුණත් ඔයාලට පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. හිතන්නකෝ මම මෙතන int කියන data type එක පාවිච්චි කරනවා කියලා. So integers කියලා කියන්නේ only numbers can be given as the input නේද? Numbers. එතකොට අපි මෙතන කියමු number 1 කියලා variable එකක් හදන්න. ඒ වගේම තව එකක් හදන්න number 2 කියලා. එතකොට variables දෙකක් තියෙනවා. දෙකම මොන typeද? Integer data type. Only integer data can be given as the input to this data type. This variable. වැළඟිචා. දැන් හිතන්න බලන්න අපි number 1 number 2 කියලා variables දෙකක් හදලා තියෙනවා. දැන් මේ දෙන්නටම input එක අරන් දෙන්න ඕනේනේ. value එකක් නෑනේ තාම. දැන් මේක නිකන් අපි chairs දෙකක් දාලා තියෙනවා no1 no2 කියලා වගේ නේද? ඒක අපි කියලා තියෙන integer data type විතරයි වාඩි වෙන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. තාම කවුරුත් ඇවිල්ලා වාඩි වුණාද? නෑ. I'm telling this as an example. Okay. So still there is no any value. So we have to get the value from the user. So for that, let's say console dot right line එකේ කියමු user enter a value කියලා. හරිද? enter කරන්න value එකක් කියලා. එතකොටනේ යාට දන්නේ what they actually have to do කියලා නේද? So let's say enter value කියලා. Okay? So then the user will enter a value. අර enter කරපු value එක කාටද යන්න ඕනේ? no1 කියන කෙනාට තමයි pass කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ වගේම අපි මේක pass කරනකොට integer එකක් විදියට තමයි pass කරන්න ඕනේ. We can't just pass it as string. Okay, I'll just explain you. We have to pass it as, since it is integer data type, we have to tell මේක pass කරනකොට integer data type එකක් විදියට pass කරන්න. console.readline මේක read කරන්න. ඊට පස්සේ එයාව integer එකක් විදියට dot integer බලන්න මෙතන integer dot pass ඒ කියන්නේ user දෙන input එක read line කරලා ඒක integer එකක් විදියට pass කරන්න. Then only we can do the calculation. If not, the system will take it as string. String means just you can have even number, text, everything, right? String එකක් විදියට ඔයා දුන්නොතින් ඔයාට calculation එක කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? Adding, dividing, multiplying, nothing cannot be done. Because it has to be in string, then only you can do the calculation. விளங்கிச்சா? நீங்க கூட்டல் கழித்தல் எது செய்யறண்டாலும் ஒரு டெக்ஸ்டையோ அட்ரஸையோ நேமையோ கொண்டு எங்களுக்கு செய்யலாமா? ஏலா. நம்பர்ஸை மட்டும் தான் எங்களுக்கு எட் பண்ணலாம், கூட்டலாம், கழிக்கலாம், எல்லாம் செய்யலாம். என்ன? அதனால நீங்க கட்டாயம் விளங்கிக்கோங்க. இந்த நம்பர் நீங்க எடுக்கக்குள்ள அது இன்டிஜராக இங்க நாங்க என்ன டேட்டா டைப்ல கொடுத்திரோமோ அதே டேட்டா டைப்ல தான் நீங்க பாஸ் பண்ணி எடுக்க வேணும். Okay, so that is one thing. And then there is another variable called number 2 that is equal int dot pass. Yeah, let's say the same integer dot pass කියලා. We can copy the same and we can change only the no1 නේද? මේකත් අපි copy කරගමු. Copy and let's paste, because we have to tell the user to enter another value නේද? Another value. The second value එක no2 කියන variable එකට අපි assign කරනවා. Is it clear up to here? Is it clear පුතා? වැළඟිචා? We have created two variable. Still there is no any values given. ඒ value එක අපි ගන්න කවුරු ගාව ඉඳලාද? run කරලා user ගාව ඉඳලා තමයි ගන්නෙ. So once after the user given, the user's input also has to be passed as integer to these variables. Now their variables will have a value with them. Then getting that value, what we are going to do is, let's do another multiplication, or else here according to this question we have to add two numbers නේද? එතකොට තමයි answer is කියලා display කරන්න පුළුවන්. Then මං තව integer variable එකක් හදා ගන්නම්. integer variable ආයත් එකක් add කියලා. දැන් මෙයාට තමයි අපි කියන්නේ number 1 කියන කෙනාවත් okay number 2 කියන variable එකත් දෙකම add කරලා මෙයාට දෙන්න. Is it clear up to here? වැළඟිච්ච ඉදිවරේකුම් තේරුණාද? මම මොනවද කරේ කියලා variables එකක් හැදුවා. ඒ දෙන්නටම values user ගාව ඉඳලා අපි යවනවා. ඊට පස්සේ අර values දෙකම add කරලා තව add කියලා variable එකක් හදලා තියෙනවා. එයාට දෙනවා. Clearද? Tell me. Is it clear? You can talk to me. Just tell me whether you understood it or not. තේරුණාද ළමයි? Okay. So you have to talk to me, okay? Because if not, I won't get it whether you understood it or not, right? Then බලන්න මේ program then බලන්න මේක integer starting input එක ගන්න අරන් තියෙනවා මේ දෙකම input in the එකම line එකේ තියෙනවා and then when you are doing a process make it in another line. Okay, so soon after that is done we'll just do an output නේද? කොට අපි කියමු console dot write line එකේ කියමු inside the bracket the double quotation the answer is. Okay, so here with this what I have to do මෙතන double quotation එකේ ඉඳලා එළියට එවිත් have to come out of the double quotation and what you have to do add the plus එකක් add කරනවා කියලා කියන්නේ මෙයාවත් මෙයාත් එක්කම attach කරලා ඒ කියන්නේ join කරලා display කරන්න මෙතන යන value එක. Understood? So the value will be given to add. එතකොට මෙයාව අපි අරන් එවිලා මෙතන display කරනවා. Assume that number 1 එකට user දීලා තියෙන input එක 100 කියලා. Assume that number 2 එකට දීලා තියෙන input එක 200 කියලා. Then how much would it become? Add how much would it become? Add කියන variable කීයක් වෙයිද? Answer is කියලා කීයක් display වෙයිද?
3.
3. 100 and 200?
Sorry. 300.
Very good. Well done, Puta. Well done. 300, isn't it? Okay. So number 1 plus number 2 will become 300, right? Because we are just doing a calculation. So soon after the calculation, so you have you need to worry. Okay. Hema deyakma karanne kawuda? The program. Now let's run the program. Before we run the program, we have to tell definitely the program console program maker read karanna read key කියලා දුන්නොතින් හරි read key or read line you can give whatever the method it is. So here this is the one will be reading everything and because everything has to be read, right? මේක හැම එකක්ම read වෙලා තමයි ඔයාට display වෙන්න ඕනේ නේද? So it will read everything and then display you the answer. So let's start the program and see how this program would work. So enter a value. Assume that I am giving 100 as I was explaining and second value 200. How much would it become? The answer. The answer is 300. Is it clear? Now we'll just run it again. I'll close it and I'll run it again. Then api code karanne sequences program. Not even selection or loop. We are just coding sequences program, getting an input and giving the output. Assume that I am giving 8,996 monari value එකක් and then 456 monari නිකන් මං value එකක් දෙනවා කියලා හිතන්න. Then you will get the exact additional value. Add කරාට පස්සේ කීයක්ද කියන integer value. See here you don't have any decimal values. You will have only integer value. மலங்கிச்சா integers சொன்னா நீங்க வந்து decimal இல்லாம சும்மா normal numbers க்கு மட்டும் நாங்க சொல்லுவோம் integer data ன்னு சொல்லி. Is it clear? Is this program is clear? Shall we create another program? Another one. MK average. Shall we do this one? Start and getting 3 inputs from the user and finding out the average and displaying the average. Shall we do this program or what? Talk to me.
Yes.
Okay, done. Okay, dear. So I'll do it in the same. Okay, I'll just delete it. But you don't do it in the same method. Okay, you just go to the file and create another new project. When it comes to your project, you don't do it all the programs deleting and deleting because later on when you are searching for the codings you won't have this projects, isn't it? If you are deleting it and doing it in the same project, so then sometimes maybe if you wanted to go through the coding or else programming එක ටිකක් හරි බලා ගන්න ඕනේ නම් ඔයාට project එක තිබ්බොතින් ඔයාට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙමත් නැත්නම් එකම project එකේ ඔයා මේ වගේ delete කරලා කරන්න ගියොතින් you won't have the previous codings or programmings, right? So that is why I'm asking you to create a new project. Okay, new project එකක් හදාගන්න when you are doing your practice. Then අපි බලමු මෙතන මෙයාට දෙනවා float කියලා data type එක. Okay, float කියන්නේ decimals values can be added නේද? So let's create 3 variables mk1 marks1 and then let's have a bracket a comma mk2 marks 2 comma mk3 semicolon. Okay, so how many variables that we have created? කියන්න බලන්න. How many variables?
3.
Very good. 3 variables has been created, right? So now for each of these variables, we have to get the input from the user. So let's say console application, please write down, write a line saying that user, please enter your marks 1. Enter your marks 1. Let's say 1. Okay. So here the user will give an input. නේද? user ඇවිල්ලා එයාගේ marks 1 එක marks එකක් මෙතන input එකක් විදිහට දෙනවා. එතකොට අර input එක කාටද අපි දෙන්න ඕනේ? To whom we have to assign the value? The given input value has to be assigned to whom? To which variable? Tell me. You can assign it to, guys.
Can you please repeat the question?
I was asking now. What I have done is, Puta, I'm asking the system to the console, because since we have created a console application, we are telling console, please write line just a label. What is the label? Enter your marks 1. So then the user will understand what he or she exactly have to do, isn't it? So that is why actually we used to have these kind of labels. Even if you are filling a form or something, if you don't have the explanation, the label on top of it, you even doesn't know what you have to fill in that particular form, right? So you have to give this kind of a label in order to make sure the user understands or understood what they have to actually do in this place. So you soon after you say something like this, then the user will try to give an input. So that input has to given to which, to whom, to something, right? The given input has to be taken and it has to be given to someone. So you guys tell me now, to whom I have to take the input and give? කියන්න බලන්න. That was my question. Didn't you get it? MK1, isn't it? To this marks only we are going to take the input and give. Okay, so here there is a variable. So for this variable, still it is just blank. Okay, as I was drawing, I'll erase everything. Again, now see, MK1 කියන්නේ එක slot එකක් හිතාගන්න. Okay, assume that MK1 is this. It is a float data type and we have separated this variable as MK1. Is there any value inside? Tell me, is there any value? You can talk to me. Just tell me. Even though if it is wrong, just tell me, okay? Now tell me, guys. Does this MK1 variable has any value in it?
No.
No, well done. Then what we are actually doing here is we are asking the user to give the value. So since there is no any values, the users are the one who will be giving the value. Okay, they will type some value that will come and store here. Okay, assume it if it is 100, then the 100 will come and store here. If it is 200, 200 will come and store here. So that is how these are memory locations which we have divided into 3. Okay, 3 memory location has been taken. For each of these 3 variables, each of these memory location, we are going to get the input or else the value from the user. So user have to give the input. So that is why we are telling user, you enter a value. Then only MK1 will get or else have a value. Then we are telling to the system ඔයා මොනද කරන්න ඕනේ? user දෙනකොට user 100 කියලා type කරොතින් A 100 නැත්නම් 25 or 50 whatever the entering marks value has to be passed as float dot pass. ඒක අනිවාර්යෙන් ඔයා mention කරන්න ඕනේ. float එකක් විදියට තමයි pass කරන්න ඕනේ. console.read line කරන්න දෙන input එක read line මේක read ඒ line එක read කරලා මෙතන අපි මොනවද කරන්නේ නම් console application එකක් නේ මේක console read ඒ දෙන input එක read කරන්න ඒ line එක read කරන්න ඊට පස්සේ එයාව float එකක් විදියට pass කරන්න to whom to mk1 is it clear விளங்கிச்சா நாங்க சொல்றோம் யூசர் இப்ப இன்புட் ஒன்று தருவாரு தார இன்புட்டை வந்து இப்ப 100 20 25 தார இன்புட்டை ரீட் பண்ணுங்க அந்த லைன் ரீட் பண்ணி பாஸ் பண்ணுங்க என்னவா float டேட்டா டைப்பா பாஸ் பண்ணுங்க ஓகே ஸ்ட்ரிங்காவோ இல்லாட்டி இன்டிஜராவோ பாஸ் பண்ண வேணாம் ஏன்டா நாங்க இங்க கிரியேட் பண்ணிக்கிற டேட்டா டைப்பை வந்து நாங்க ஏற்கனவே சொல்லிக்கிறோம் floatன்னு சொல்லி அதனால நீங்க floatஆவே அவக்கு பாஸ் பண்ணிடுங்க so we have assigned the variable we are getting only the value to which variable we are getting the value now මොන එකටද අපි value එක දෙන්නේ මේකෙන් අර mk1 very good so how many marks or else variables are remaining to which variables now
2.
we have to get 2 and 3 neither so for that also have we need to get the input from the user users gavindala input ekata yes very good so here I'll copy the same and let's paste it in the second line and let's say enter your marks 2 a marks 2 has to be assigned to which variable to mk1 or mk2 or mk3 to which variable
MK2.
very good mk2 so get the input from the user read it and then give it as float pass it as float to mk2 again 1 is remaining neda puta then අපි ආයෙත් මේකම paste කරමු එතකොට ආයෙත් user ඇවිල්ලා input එකක් දෙනවා marks 3 එක එතකොට it has to be passed to what to mk3 I hope it is clear getting all the values from users and giving it to these variables that is what we are doing so here users are the one who will be giving the values okay soon after they enter the value will be assigned into this okay to the blank page will get filled with the value now we have to find out the average of the student neither according to this question so you guys know if we wanted to find out the average of a person or else a student you have to add all the marks and then number of marks like you have to divide it by the number of marks neither so you just tell me now I'll be doing a float I'll be creating a float another variable called avg average එක බලන්න හරි then මෙයාට අපි මොනවද කරන්න ඕනේ what I have to do now tell me mk1 has to be what has to be added or multiplied
Add
very good add with what puta mk2 very
2
good
and MK3.
very good very good now what I have to do
Divide by 3.
very good number of number of subjects are 3 right so it has to be divided by 3 if it is 4 you have to divide it by 4 if it is 5 you have to divide it by 5 if it is 6 you have to divide it by 6 if it is 9 you have to divide it by 9 so that's how we get the average of a student so you guys know that now soon after the what we can tell process is done so we are getting 3 inputs and then we are giving or else we are doing a process inside the project and then program inside the program we are doing a process and then console dot let's say you have to display something where you will tell that to the user your average is something like that okay so let's type your average is okay so with this label only we are going to because user might doesn't know what actually being displayed right so you have to tell this is your average if not they might think that is the total isn't it so you have to mention that this is the average so adding a plus but I have to type here what I have to display average is here what should I type? කියන්න බලන්න. நான் இன்னைக்கு என்ன டைப் பண்ணணும்? your average is னு சொல்லி இன்னைக்கு என்ன டைப் பண்ண வேணும்? எந்த வேரியபிள் இன்னைக்கு வரணும்?
AVG.
AVG, very good. Finally, console dot read key or read line, whatever it is. That's all. Now we are getting 3 inputs from the user and calculating to find out the average of the student and then displaying the average and stopping the program. That's all. Let's start the program and give the input and see how does the program works. விளங்கிச்சு தானே உங்களுக்கு கோடிங் பண்ணினது பாருங்க. Enter your first marks. Let's say it is 50. The second marks, let's say 60. Let's say third marks. Enter. Once after you enter, it will show you something like this tables. Say 40. Your average is 123.333. So as I was explaining, since this is float data type, you can have decimal values like this. තේරුණාද? float data type එකක් නම් ඒකෙදි මේ වගේ floating decimal values display කරන්න පුළුවන්. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, well done. So now let's do another program which is from the presentation as we were doing practices for the sequences program. Module marks, dot line, this one is done already. So shall we do this? Circumferences find karne ka? Okay, so we'll find out the circumferences from this, okay, from starting to end the end we have to code and then we have to do a small calculation in between. Okay, so according to this question it says find the circumference of a circle by giving radius as an input. Okay, radius එක input එකක් විදිහට අරන් අපි කොහොමද මේක input කරන්නේ කියන එක තමයි මෙතන අපි දෙන්න ඕනෙලු. Okay, so let's go back to the Visual Studio and then in the same console application, let me delete everything. You do it in a separate project. I'll just delete it. And then here, in order to get the radius second input එකක් විදිහට ගන්න ඕනේ. So I'll just create a float data type again. Okay, so this is also going to be float data type. So now let's say the float data type is what? The data variable is radius, so you can just say r or radius or whatever it is. Okay, radius කියලාම දෙන්නම්. Radius is the variable. So for this radius variable we have to get the value neither from the user. So we have to say that console dot write line in between the double quotation, let's type enter the radius value. Okay, so the user knows what they have to actually do, but we have to get the radius whatever that they are typing and we have to pass it to the radius variable, right? So let's say there is someone called radius. He is equal to, you can even type it as r. Okay, radius කියලාම කියන්න ඕනෙත් නැහැ. r කියලා තිබොතින් r එකට pass වෙනවා. Okay, you just have created a variable, that's it. So r is equal to float එකක් විදියට dot pass කරන්න මොන එකද මෙතන දෙන user දෙන input එක. So console dot read line කරන්න and then pass it to this r variable. So that once that done, we have to create another float variable. We can even edit over here, comma, let's say c circumferences එක බලන්න. So for the c, what we have to do a calculation. Okay, so calculation එක කරන්න ඔයාට පුළුවන් දැන් 2 pi කියන එකට there is a calculation, there is a inbuilt like sequences for that. Okay, we call it as math pi. Okay, math pi කියලා type කරාම you will get that. So math pi එක අපි add කරනවා නම් එතනදී සමහර විට අර ලොකු decimal value එකක් එන්න පුළුවන්. Now see, even though if I just type now here, see this is the calculation 2 pi r එක නේද? So pi එකට we can just type it as 3.14. If not, by default inbuilt code එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒක තමයි pi කියන එකට we can just type math pi. Okay, math pi කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. math.pi. So this will do the calculation. Math.pi multiplied what? R. But still it is showing an error because math pi එක අපි එඩ් කරාම සමහර විට decimal value එක දිගට එන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ හින්දා අපි මේ float data type එක let's change it into double data type. Okay, you can change it into double data type. So what will happen? Then අර double data type එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ float එකට වඩා ටිකක් වැඩියෙන් decimal values carry කරන්න පුළුවන් data type එකක් තමයි ඒක. ඒ හින්දා තමයි අපි math pi කියන මේ pi r pi කියලා මෙතන type කරනවට වඩා instead of giving just 3 divided by 0.15 or 14, we can just add this. So this also does the same. Math pi කියන එකත් අර pi value එක තමයි මෙතන වැටෙන්නේ. Okay, අර 22 divided by 7 ඒක තමයි මෙතනත් වෙන්නේ. So now what we're going to do is, soon after the circumferences value is be taken, we have to console dot write line එකේ කියමු. Okay, user, the circumferences, the of circle is, what we have to type here. We can add what I have to type here, what I have to include. C, right? මේ value එක තමයි මෙතන වැටෙන්න ඕනේ නේද? Circumferences value එක මේකයි කියලා වැටෙන්න ඕනේ. Isn't it? Is it clear? Finally, what I have to do? Console dot read line කරන්න මේ program එක. නැත්නම් read key කරන්න. Okay, you can read key or read line. That's all. So we have created two variable in double data type. Double data type එකෙන්ම දෙන input එක pass කරනවා radius එකට, and then we are doing the calculation, getting if the user has given the radius value as 5, then 5 will get multiplied with 2 math pi. So then circumferences value එක මෙතන වැටෙනවා. Okay, so that's how this system works. So let's run the program and see how does the program works. Okay, விளங்கிச்சு தானே உங்களுக்கு இது வரைக்கும்? clear இல்லாட்டி எதுவும் உங்களுக்கு டவுட்ஸ் இருந்தா சொல்லுங்க. ஓகே, நான் இன்னும் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்றேன். Okay, it is asking me to give the enter the radius value. This is what is being displayed, ne? So this is what is being displayed over here, enter radius value. So we'll just give 22. Yeah, this is how you get the decimal value. Double value එක බලන්න. You will have a lengthy output like this. Is it clear? The circumferences of circle is this. Am I clear? Is it clear, Puta? තේරුණාද මේක? දැන් බලන්න මේක නිකන් sequences program එකක්. Input එක ගන්නවා and then doing the calculation, displaying and stopping the program. Okay, I hope you got it. Now let's get back to the presentation again and then let's see. EPF, calculate and display EPF 8% from the salary. So let's do that program. Okay, so here we're going to do the same. Let's say okay, let's type float data type එකක්. According to this question, it says calculate and display EPF 8% from salary. So salary එක කීයද කියලා බැලුවතින් තමයි we can find out how much would be 8% EPF, isn't it? So let's say give your salary as an input. So here we have to tell that console application console dot write line එකේ let's ask the user to give the input how much is your salary. Enter your we can say. So soon after the user give the input salary as an input. So what we have to do, salary එක input එකක් විදිහට දුන්නට පස්සේ අපි අර input එක අරන් හරිද input එක අරන් we have to get the input නේද we have to get the input. So let's say cell කියන variable is equal to what float එකක් විදිහට input ගන්න pass කරන්න. That has to be whatever the input that is being given has to be console application එකෙන් read කරලා තමයි ඒක pass කරන්න ඕනේ as float into this variable. ඒ variable එක දුන්නට පස්සේ අපි අලුතින් තව මෙතන variable එකක් add කරගමු. ඒක තමයි EPF කියලා. Okay, EPF කියලා මෙතන variable එකක් හදාගමුකෝ. So for this variable, let's say EPF is equal to, we have to do the calculation. So cell has to be multiplied by how much? 8%. So how much it should be? 8 divided by 100, ne? So do the calculation and then let's say console dot write line neke, let's say to the user, your EPF is your EPF is. So here we can add the EPF, right? EPF. May value එක මෙතන display වෙයි. Finally, let's stop the program with console dot read key. Brackets open, close. That's all. Salary එක input එකක් විදිහට ගන්නවා. මෙතන අරන් a cell කියන variable එකට දෙනවා. Then cell will store the value. Okay, assume that if it is 20,000 එක මෙයා carry කරගෙන ඉන්නවා. And then getting that 20,000, we are calculating and checking how much would be the EPF if the salary is 20,000. So let's run the program and see how does the program works. So here this is how it is asking you to give your salary as an input. So let's say if it is 20,000, how much would be this salary? EPF is 1,600. Is it clear? තේරුණාද? If it is 20,000, then it is 1,600. Okay, then let's get back to the program, to the presentation again. Let's find another question as well, another sequences program. So here selling price from price. So we have to display both the VAT and VAT. Yeah, both the selling price and VAT price. So let's get back again here. I'll be deleting this thing. Let's say we'll keep this. Then let's change this as what? Selling price එකත් price එකත්. එතකොට අපි price එක තමයි ගන්න ඕනේ නේද? user ගාව ඉඳලා price එක ගන්න ඕනේ. Selling price එක බලන්න ඕනේ. ඉඳ මං SP කියලා එකක් හදාගන්නම්. Okay, SP කියලා හදාගන්නම්. ඒ වගේම මොනවාද අපි කරන්න යන්නේ? VAT එක කීයද කියලාත් බලන්න ඕනේ. So we have all these three variables, okay, with us. And then enter the price කියලා කියමු අපි මෙතන. Okay, enter the price. So the user will enter the price. That has to be assigned to what? Which variable පුතා? Price. Tell me. මොන එකටද අපි මේ price එක දෙන්න ඕනේ? දෙන input value එක. මොන variable එකටද? யாருக்கு நாங்க எடுத்து கொடுக்கணும்? P-க்கா, SP-க்கா, VET-க்கா? யாருக்கு நாங்க input எடுத்து கொடுக்கணும்? To whom? Huh? Yes. SP. Here I'm asking enter the price. Then which one is the price? This variable is price. This is the selling price. We have to find out how much is the selling price. VAT is also a calculation, that is the 15% VAT. We have to find it out. So here, what I have to get as an input? What here? What Puta?
VAT.
Not the VAT, because here we have to find out the VAT only. Balan. Start the program, input the price, then getting the price, we will be finding out how much is the VAT. Then VAT එකත් price එකත් add කරාට පස්සේ තමයි selling price එක කීයද කියලා බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. Okay, so displaying how much is the VAT and then selling price එක මෙච්චරයි කියලා. So now tell me, if we wanted to do the calculation, but yeah, price, very good Nifal. Price only has to be taken as the input. So this is the variable which I have created to get the price value as an input. එතකොට මෙතන අපි enter the price කියලා කියන්නේ price කීයද? දැන් පේන දැන් හිතන්නකෝ මෙතන මේ අපි කියමු chocolate එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා. So chocolate එකේ real price එක කීයද කියලා තමයි මෙතන අහන්නේ. So then ඒ price එකට අපි VAT එක කීයද කියලා බලන්න ඕනේ. So then VAT is equal to price එක අපි calculate කරනවා by what? Price has to be multiplied by how much is the VAT? 15%. Then here what I have to type? 15 divided by 100. Isn't it? එතකොටනේ අපිට VAT එක කීයද කියලා බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. Not only the VAT we have to display, but also we have to display the selling price. SP is equal to what I have to do here. Tell me. Selling price එක බලන්න ඕනේ නම් what I have to do?
VAT plus
Minus
price.
Very good. VAT plus price. Okay. VAT එකත් price එකත් set කරාම තමයි අපිට selling price එක කීයද කියලා බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. So we can say that selling price is කියලා මෙතන SP එක display කරන්න ඕනේ, and then we have to display another thing which is VAT, right? දෙකම display කරන්න ඕනේනේ. Console right line. The VAT is කියලා කියමු. VAT is, what should I type here? VAT එක කීයද කියලා මෙතන කියන්න.
VAT.
What should I? VAT, very good. That's all. See, 3 variables has been created. Only for the price, we are getting the value from the user and giving. Then how much is the VAT for that price කියලා බලනවා. ඒ VAT එක අපි price එකත් එක්ක add කරාම තමයි selling price එක කීයද කියලා. දැන් chocolate එක 500 එකට තිබ්බොතින් assume the VAT value is 50, then 550 only will be the selling price, right? So that's what we are doing here. So let's run the program. Okay, enter the price කියලා අහනවා. So let's say 500. Selling price is 575. The VAT is 75. Am I clear? Is it clear? Selling price and VAT එක?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Any doubt up to here? Any doubt related to variables? So even this is just the console application, right? So there are many other things that you have to learn. I just wanted to give you the programming concept, the idea. Okay. So now you might have understood the use of design of this flowchart and pseudocodes. If you have designed it properly, then you can easily code. If not, you might struggle, isn't it? So that is why from the beginning you have to follow the SDLC, the system development life cycle. அலங்கிச்சா நீங்க system development life cycle follow பண்ணினீங்கடா தான் உங்களுக்கு ப்ராப்பரான ஒரு அவுட்புட் கிடைக்கும். If you don't have this kind of a flow chart, then you might even struggle, isn't it? දැන් වෙට් එක බලන්න එහෙම කියලා නිකන් ටෙක්ස්ට් වලින් කියලා තිබ්බොතින් ඔයාට ඒක තේරුම් ගන්න අමාරුයි නේද? එතකොට ඔයා මේ වගේ ඩිසයින් එකක් කරලා තිබ්බොතින් if it is correctly done, then easily you can code it looking at the design. Even it could be a flowchart or as a pseudocode. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now let's get back here. Okay, enter another price. Let's just type let's say if it is 804.3, then this is the selling price. The VAT is 1278. Is it clear?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, well done. If it is 15% only, this value would become. So if you wanted to change the percentage, then you can easily change it here. 15 කියලා තයාර තියෙනදී, you can just add 8 or 10 or whatever the value that you want, isn't it? So that is the main benefit, Puta. Now see, now easily you can program, isn't it? You can, if you know the concept, if you see, look at this, just what I have done is console write line, console read line කියන එක විතරයි මෙතන additionally තියෙන්නේ. All the other things are the similar thing, the same thing which is in the pseudocode and the flowchart. Now let's do a selection program and see. Okay, then අපි selection program එකක් කොහොමද කරන්නේ console application එකේ කියලා බලමු. ඒකට මම මේ තියෙන මෙතන තියෙන මේ program එක කරන්නම්, getting the marks and then checking it whether it is greater than or equal to 60. If so, the grade will be displayed as pass. If not, it will displayed as fail. And finally, yeah, that's all. So here, let's delete everything. Okay, and let me create a new variable. Let's I'll type integer variable. Okay, integer variable එකක් හදන්නම්. integer variable එක මොනවාද? marks නේද? උට මං mark කියලා මෙතන type කරන්නම් variable එක හදාගත්තා. දැන් මෙයාට අපි console dot read line එකේ, not read line, right? What it is? Write line, right? Dot write line එකේ කියමු user enter your marks කියලා. Enter the marks. Okay, so the user will enter the marks that has to be assigned to what? Which variable? Mark, right? Mark is equal to int dot pass. In between the double quotation or else the braces, how to tell that? Make a console read karanna, read line, and give it to MK marks, sorry. Then the marks will be taken and then we have to find out whether it is greater than or equal to 60. So then here comes the if condition. So if you wanted to select something, okay, selection එකක් කරන්න ඕනේ නම් ඔයාලට දන්නවා එතන තමයි අපි if else statement එක පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. හරි? එතකොට මෙතන අපි කියමු if බලන්න මෙතන දුන්න mark එක, okay, input value එක if it is greater than or equal to 60 ද කියලා බලන්න. சரியா? 60 க்கு விட பெருசா இல்லாட்டி அதுக்கு ஈக்குவல் ஆனு பாருங்க. If so, console, okay, dot write line එකේ කියමු මොනවාද? pass කියලා. You can either type like this, if not you can create a string variable as well. pass කියලා මෙතන type කරමු. else එහෙම නැත්තම් මොනවාද? console කොහොමදත් ඒක මේ ලොකු නැත්තම් පොඩිනේ, then it has to be fail, isn't it? Then finally out of the braces, okay, see, if check the marks is greater than or equal to 60, then console write line එකේ pass එක display කරන්න, else fail එක press display කරන්න, and then let's say console dot read key. That's all. Now let's run the program. Enter the marks කියලා අහනවා. Then මං 30 කියලා දුන්නොතින් what has to get displayed? If I give the marks as there 30, what should be the
Fail.
fail? Very good.
Fail.
Fail, ne? Okay.
Yes.
So let's run it again. Let's run the program again. And now I'm going to give another value which is 80. Then what should be the output? If it is 85,
Pass.
pass. Very good. So this is how the if else selection program can be written. The program can be written. Okay. So this is a simple one. Let's get back to the presentation and let's do another selection program. Hari? So according to this Puta, it says calculate and display text based on salary. If the salary is greater than or equal to 20,000, then a text has to be applied. So this is how the flow chart has been designed. So input take a salary and then we have to find out whether salary is greater than or equal to 20,000. If so, a tax will get applied. If not, no tax. Is it clear? So let's get back here, and then I'll be deleting all these things. And let's say, let's create a float data type. A float variable එකක් හදාගමු, which is cell. Okay, salary can input එකක් විතර ගන්න ඕනේ. And then what we are doing, if before if condition, we have to get the value from the user. Console dot write line එකේ කියමු user enter the salary කියලා. Double quotation, inside that enter your salary. Okay, so then the user will enter the salary. That has to assign as float dot pass එකක් pass කරන්න ඕනේ console dot read line. Okay, now let's check if the cell is greater than or equal to 20,000, then a text has to get applied, isn't it? So then මෙතන අපි මොනවද කරන්න යන්නේ නම් මේ මෙතනින්ම අපි variable එකක් හදාගමු text එකට. Okay, so let's say tax is equal to, the cell has to be multiplied by how much?
1.5%.
1.5%. Very good. Huh? 1.5 divided by 100. That's it. So we can change the data type as double, okay? Because if not, we might get, because this is a decimal value ne, ekda double kila tiyagamu, hari. Else we can say console dot write line ekේ user, you don't have any text, isn't it? Pay any text. Okay, that's all. Is it clear? Salary එක input එකක් විදිහට ගන්නවා. ඒ salary එක 20,000 වලට වඩා වැඩි නම් එයාට මේ ගාණක් වැටෙනවා. එහෙමත් නැත්නම් ඔයාට text එකක් නැහැ කියලා මෙතන display වෙනවා. And finally, out of this if condition, we have to text එක කීයද කියලා වැටෙන්න ඕනේ නේ. If there is a text, isn't it? So let's say right line එකේ ඔයාට text එකක් තිබ්බොතින් your text is your text amount is, we can add the plus over here and then text එක මෙතන කරනවා. That's it. Let's delete it. Okay, then බලන්න මේක select වෙලා මේ statement එක හරි නම් මේ text value එක කීයද බලලා text එක කීයක්ද කියන එක වැටෙනවා. එහෙම නැත්නම් console application console right click කරනවා, there is no any text කියලා. Okay, so let's run the program and we'll give a input and see how does this work. So if I just enter 10,000, will there be any text values for me? Text මොනාර එකක් වැටෙයිද මට? text එකක් තියෙයිද?
Yes,
10,000. Huh?
Yes, teacher. 150 will
10,000 පුතා. 10,000 වලට
150 text.
if it is greater than 20,000 only, you will have this text. statement එක ඔයාලා බලන්න පුතා. No tax. Very good. Because 20,000, 10,000 is it greater than 20,000 or less than 20,000? පුතා 20,000 කියන්නේ මේ 10,000 කියන්නේ 20,000 වලට වඩා වැඩිද නැත්නම් අඩුයිද?
Yes.
Yeah, less, right? So then if it is less, then will there be any tax values for them according
No
to
teacher.
this? Huh?
No
No.
teacher.
No, very good. No tax. So let's say you don't have to pay any tax. Then I'll run it again. And let's give something like beyond 20,000. Okay, 20,000 වලට වැඩියෙන් දෙමු එකක්. If it is 50,000, then your tax amount is 750. Okay, I'll again run it. Then we'll give a decimal value and see. If the salary is 78,500 now, your tax amount is 1,177. Understood? Likewise. එතකොට මේ වගේ තමයි ඔයා if else conditions create කරනකොට, okay? When you are doing a selection program, this is how you have to do, okay? Using if else statement. So there is another chart, I think, here in the presentation, okay, where we did the, okay, not only one if is there are many if conditions. We are getting the average and checking whether if it is greater than or equal to 80. If it is correct, then a grade will get displayed. If not, it will go to another condition. Likewise, there are few conditions. So we'll do this and see how we can code it in the real program. Okay, so I'll delete all the unwanted thing. And let's do, okay, let's create another variable. Okay, so මෙතන අපි float variable එකක් කරමු, හදාගමු. And the variable name is what we are going to get the AVG, or else marks as the input. Okay, so soon after the average is get taken from the user, we have only created the variable. So let's say console application, please tell the user to give an input. So let's say enter your average. Okay, so the average has to be passed to what AVG equal to float එකක් විදියට dot pass කරන්න. And then console dot read line. So we are getting the input, and let's open a if condition. Let's say AVG, if it is greater than or equal to 80, then we have to create a variable. So for that also I'll be creating a variable in string variable එකක් මම උඩ හදා ගන්නම්. උඩ බලන්න, like below the float data type, string data type is there. We'll name the variable as grd, grade ne grd කියලා name කරගමු. And let's say if it is greater than or equal to 80, the grd has to be equal to what? A. Then if this is wrong, are we going to go to else, or else if condition එකක් ඔයා මෙතන ආයෙත් create කරන්න ඕනේ. If okay, you have to make sure if this is correct, this has to be done. Else if AVG is greater than or equal to 70, then what has to happen? GRD is equal to double quotation, let's say it's B. Now you guys tell me what I have to do next. என்ன செய்யணும் அடுத்து?
Else if average
Else if-
greater or equal 60.
Okay, well done. Else if here AVG is greater than or equal to 60. Then here, what should be the GRD? GRD is equal to
C.
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 Well done. Okay. And finally, what should come after this? Kiana? Make a balla Kiana. Paathu solunga paaka. AVG is if it is greater than or equal to 60, then it has to be C. Then finally, then what should I do here? Should I need to have another else if?
No.
Then
Else.
very good, very good. Only else. Because somehow if it is not even greater than or equal to 60, somehow it's going to be less than 60, right? So you no need to have a statement, a separate statement for that, isn't it? So let's say if it is less than 60, then the GRD should be equal to fail, right? Okay, that's all. Now finally, out of the all these else if statement, we have to say in console dot write line, let's tell the user that your grade is what. Okay, let's type your grade is. And here what should I type? Your grade is, tell me. මෙතන මොනවද type කරන්න ඕනේ? Your grade is කියලා double quotation එකේ what dear, tell me again.
Plus.
Plus, very good. Plus, then
Grade.
Grade.
GRD or grade?
No.
GRD, right? Yeah, very good. GRD, the variable. This has to get displayed. So is it clear? No, see, within 1 or 2 minutes, you can just create a huge program like this, isn't it? See, getting the, we have created 2 variables. One is float and another one is string. And then here we are getting the average from the student and checking if it is greater than or equal to 80, grade is equal to A. If it is greater than or equal to 70, then the grade has to be displayed as B. If it is greater than or equal to 60, then the grade has to be displayed as C. And if all these are wrong, then somehow it is going to be F, because if it is less than 60, somewhat the grade is going to be fail. Then finally, we'll be displaying the grade in this with the label saying that your grade is. Okay, so let's run the program. We'll give an input and check. Enter your average. If I give 85 as the, okay, assume that if I give 80 as an input, what would be the
A.
output?
A.
Sorry, wait. A, right? Your grade is A. Let's run it again. Now here, what I am doing is repeatedly running it again and again, starting, closing it and starting. So instead of doing this, easily what we can do is we can create a loop. Okay, so that still I didn't teach you, right? So that is why I'm stopping this and starting it again and doing. So if you know how to code for loop or loop, then repeatedly it will ask you to enter the average again and again. How many times you wanted to run, you can do it by yourself. Okay, so let's say if the marks is 65, what would be the grade?
B.
C. 65, C, right? Isn't it? It's C, right? Because if it is greater than 70 or else equal to 70, only you will get B. Okay. So now let's close it again and let's give another value. Somewhat like if I give, let's say 79, what would be the output? 79.
B.
B.
B. Very good. So it's clear, right? Now? Now you guys know how to do console application, okay? Even in sequences programming or selection programming, you guys know how to code, isn't it? So now let's go back here to the presentation. I think selections, that's all we have in selection. Now we have the repetition. So I'll teach you how we can code or as program repetitions in C#. Okay, repetition එකක් කරන්නේ කොහොමද? repetition එකක් හදාගන්නේ මේ C# program එකේ කොහොමද program කරගන්නේ කියන එක කියලා දෙන්න. So now we have the designs, the flowcharts and but pseudocodes are with us. So now in the same program, there are 3 ways of repeating things. Okay, so one we call do while loop, and then there is another loop called while loop, and then there's another loop called for loop. So we'll do one by one. So let's start with do while loop or else while loop. Okay, so while loop is something where you will create a variable. So according to this, you have to have a variable which will carry out a value, right? Count is equal to 1, and then we have to make a decision, and then we have to input number 5 times numbers has to be taken, and then count plus 1. So that is what we'll again and again repeat it, then finally stop the program. So let's get back to the Visual Studio, and let's say there is a variable in integer variable. Let's say the variable's name is count. දැනට අපි value එකක් දෙමු. We are not going to get any values from user for count. Okay, so now it has a value which is 1. Variable has a value which is 1. Now let's open the while loop. So let's say while count is less than, greater than, right? No, less than, right? While count is less than or equal to how much? 5 times only we have to repeat it, right? 5. Then what you have to do, get an input from the user. Enter a value. So this value has to be given to a variable. For that, what we can do, we'll create another variable. Let's say float variable. Variable is number. Okay, name of the variable is number, identifier. So let's pass the variable value as float dot pass instead of typing this, we can assign the float variable over here itself. It should not be dot, it has to be equal. Ne? Okay, so we are getting the input from the user. Okay, 5 times it has to be taken. So we'll just say count is equal to count what? Plus 1 නේද? ඒ කියන්නේ මෙයත් එක තව එකක් add වෙන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට මේ ආයෙත් මෙතනට එනවා. Then already it is 1. Okay, මේක අරන් ඇවිල්ලා බලනවා. Is 1 is less than 5 or what? Is it correct? Is it less than 1 or is it less than 5 or greater than 5? 1.
Less than 5.
So is that statement is correct or wrong, Puta? If it is less than 5, is it correct or wrong?
Correct.
Correct, very good. So can we get an input from the user or no? Can. So then what we are doing, again another one is being added with count. Then how much will it become if we add another one with count?
2.
2, very good. Is 2 is less than 5, Puta?
Less than 5.
Yeah. Then can we do the program? Can we execute the program? Tell me. Yeah. Can we get another input from the user or no?
Can.
Can. So then again another input will be taken. Again we are adding another one. Then how much will it become? How much count will become? එවලෝ ආවම් count. කියන්න
3.
3. එතකොට 3 කියන්නේ පහට වඩා අඩුයිද නැත්නම් වැඩිද? කුඩයා කොරේවා? Less,
Less.
right? Then can we get another input from the user or no? Can. Again, assume that the count has become, we'll say 5. Now tell me, can we get another value from the user or no? If the count value is 5.
No.
No? Look at the statement and tell me. If count is 5,
Can teacher.
can. Because why?
Can.
Can. Why?
Because it's 5.
Equal has been given, right? Even though if it is equal to 5, also we can do this. So once after count becomes 6, what will happen? Can we take any inputs?
Can't.
Can't. We can't take anything because 6 is not even less than 5 and also it is not equal to 5. Valangicha, clear? Terunada?
Yes.
Okay, well done. Now let's come out of the while loop. So here, Puta, the while loop has been started and stopped. Here the braces has been closed. Now let's come out of it and let's say this console dot read key. That's all. Let's run the program and we'll see whether it is being working for 5 times. So I'll just type 1, enter, 2, enter, 3, enter, 4, enter, 5, enter. Again, you can't give any values. 5 times it worked. Is it clear? Am I clear? So this is while loop. Okay, we call this as while loop. Terunada? Valangicha ide elatukum? Lamain understood? Okay, so now we'll just do another program which is do while loop. Harida do while loop එක කොහොමද create කරන්න කියලා බලමු. So for that what you have to do, you have to just type do something while this statement is this. So for that also you have to create what? A variable. So let's say integer variable එකක් තියෙනවා. එයාගේ නම for now let's give count කියලා. හරි? Count is the value. Then it is equal to, sorry, int count is the variable. It's equal to 1 now. For now, the value is 1. So do something. Before that, we have to set while what we have to do something while count is less than or equal to 10. You have to do this. Understood? Do what? Get the input. That's it. Console dot. If not, we can do something like this. Let's display 10 numbers. Okay, right line. If you wanted to display something also, you can use this, right? So let's display count. Count ekama display karamu. Understood? No, we are not getting any inputs, but still we are going to display count. So when it is 1, 1 will get displayed. So soon after we add count is equal to count plus 1, then that additional values will get displayed over here. Is it clear? Then finally, let's come out of the session in console.read key. You know what am I doing? We have created a variable called count. It is currently 1. Then we are asking the statement to do something. So what we are actually asking it to do? Console right line the count. So this value will get displayed over here. So now at the beginning, how much will get displayed? How much? If it is 1,
1.
1 will get displayed, right? So again, we are adding another 1. So here it will come, it won't come back again here to the variable section. It will go to the while and it will check whether 2 is less than 10. Is it correct or wrong? Is 2 is less than 10 or greater than 10?
Less than 10.
Less than 10. Then it will come here back again to the do section and it will display how much?
2.
2. Very good. Then again another one will get added. Then again how much will it become if we add another one with 2?
3.
3. Then is 3 is less than 10?
Yes.
Less
Yes.
than
Then
10.
will it do this?
Yes.
Yes. Then what will it do? What will it display?
He gave 4.
3, right?
3, yeah.
3. So let's run the program here. 10 times it is being repeated. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because we are not going to, we are not getting any inputs. We are just displaying. So now what you have to do is, if you wanted to print 100 numbers, then you just have to change the value into the number into 100. That's it. Like this, up to 100 will get displayed. Is it clear? Here, 99, 100. Now I'm going to give you a homework. Okay, homework. I want all of you to do the homework. Okay, can't tell that I was not in the class and that 10 days. You have 1 week of time. I need you to download Visual Studio and get it installed. And I just want you to do this. What you wanted to do is, Puta, now I showed you how you can display from 1 to 10 or 1 to 100. But the thing is, I want you to display from 10 to 1. 10, 9, 8. Okay, this is how you want to do. 7, 6, 5. Upside down, 7, 5. We have 4, 3, 2, 1. So this is the this is how the output has to come. Now I explained to you how we can display it from 1 to 10, but now your work, your priority is to do what you have to display from 10 to 1. Can you do that? Can you
Yes.
give it a try? Okay, there is a mechanism behind that. Just we'll see who got that and who can do it. Okay, so now you know how you can code, or else how you can program using C# programming. So what you do is, homework is just download Visual Studio and do the practices. Before you do the homework, do more practice. Okay, then it will be really easy for you to understand. Okay, so then soon after you done, soon after you got the idea, and once you have the idea behind this programming, then you can easily come up with this solution. Okay, so how you can display from 10 to 100 is really not 100, 10 to 1 is really easy. Just give it a try. Okay, so I want you to display it from 10 to 1, from upside down. Okay, so then we'll see who's going to do it and who has the ability to do that. Then that's all for today. If you have any doubts, if not, we can do another small program as well. Then 100 make karamuda. Shall we do this as well? I'll teach you another one more loop. Okay, do while loop is okay, while loop is also okay. Then again there is another loop called for loop. For loop is really easy. This loop is something where you will just type for. By default, the integer, variable, everything comes in it. Okay, here see, I means the count. Count is what they have called it as I. Even if you just change it as count, you will get all the thing as count. Here, count while count is equal to 1. Check whether count is less than or equal to how much? 5. Then count plus plus means count plus equal to plus count plus 1 eka thamai eka. Okay, so here what we can do, console dot write line, inside the bracket we can display count. That's it. In one line itself the program is completed. This variable display here. Come out of the,
Can you repeat again?
yeah, wait, I'll repeat it again. Come out of the variable, the braces, and say console.readline. I'll repeat it again, okay? Don't worry. That's all. One line coding. Okay. So I'll run the program and show you how does the output comes. Then you will understand the same output 1 to 5. Okay, 5 times has been repeated. So if you just change the length into like 50 or 10 or whatever the amount, how many times that you wanted to display, it will get repeated as much as it possible. Okay, even you can repeat it to like 10,000, 1,000 times, 50,000. Okay, that's up to you. If I just make it as 1,000 and if we run the program, yeah, it is being repeated for 1,000 times. Clear? So now Putha, what I was explaining is for loop. Do while loop is something where do something while the statement is this. And while loop is also something where you create a variable and then you assign a value to that variable. Like count kila variable එකක් තියෙනවා නම් එයාට දැනට 1 කියලා value එක දෙනවා. While I was explaining what pseudocode and flowchart, I explained you with the real-time example. Like student කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා එයාගාව chocolate එකක් තියෙනවා ඒ වගේ නේ මම ඔයාලට explain කරේ. As I can remember, that's how I explained you. So that's the same thing, okay? So for loop එකේ ඒ මුකුත් ඔයා type කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. for කියලා type කරලා ඔයාගේ මේ keyboard එකේ tab key එක තියෙනවනේ, tab key, double press on it, then automatically you will get all the things. Okay, like this. Bracket එකේ තුලේ integer data type එකේ I කියලා variable එකක් තියෙනවා. එයාට දැනට value එකක් නැහැ තාම. You can give it as 1, okay, 1 or 2 or 3 මොනාරි අර අපි අර count is equal to 1 කියලා දෙනවා වගේ තමයි මේක. I කියන්නේ by default එකේ එන එක. ඔයාට I කියලා තියෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. එහෙමත් නැත්නම් ඔයාට count කියලා ඒක change කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. එතකොට බලන්න මෙතන අපි බලනවා length එක. අර statement එකේ දෙන while මේක if the while count is less than or equal to කියලා දෙනවනේ. ඒක තමයි මේක. While count is equal or less than what let's say 50, ඔයා මොනවද කරන්න ඕනේ? මොනවද කරන්න ඕනේ කියන එක අපි මේ bracket එකේ ඇතුලේ කියන්න ඕනේ. console.writeline එකේ අපි කියමු enter a value කියලා මෙතන කියමුකෝ. 50 times if you wanted to get inputs from the user, enter කියලා මම නිකන් type කරන්නම්. And then to which the user has to get input. එතකොට අපි ඒකට තමයි වෙනම variable එකක් හදන්න ඕනේ. integer කියලා variable එකක් තියනවා කියලා හිතා ගන්න. So that is what number. Okay, number නැත්නම් value කියලා මම නිකන් type කරනම්කෝ variable එකක් තියනවා කියලා. So for that value variable, the input has to be taken and then it has to be passed as int.pass. console.readline. That's all. Then finally you have to come out of this and then console api usually console.read key කියන එක දෙනවනේ. ඒක දුන්නතින් හරි. Fine. That's all you have to do. Now what we are doing here is Putha for loop ekedi by default එනවා. You don't need to separately code it out over here as we did in the while loop and do while loop. Understood? It comes inside here. This was a plus කියන්නේ count equal to count plus 1 කියන එක තමයි plus plus. I plus plus කියන්නේ ඒක තමයි. Okay. So you can easily do it by this way. Not even no need to give like count is equal to count plus count plus 1 name මොකුත් type කරන්න නැතුව count මෙතන ඔයාට I කියලා නැතුව count කියලා change කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. Okay, count කියලා change වුණොත් all these are counts. This is also has to be count. This one also has to be count. Because දැනට count කියලා කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. එයාගේ value එක 1. එයා integer data type එකක්. එයා දැන් බලන්න මේ count කියන value 15ට වඩා අඩුයිද කියලා. Check whether it is less than 50. If so, enter, get an input from the user. Okay, and then again come back here. Okay, and plus add another one. Plus කියන්නේ තව එකක් add වෙනවා. Then how much will it become? It will become 2 නේද? Already it was 1. Then once we add another one, it will become 2. Then again we are checking whether how much 2 is less than 50. If it is correct, then it will get another input. And again another one will get added. And again going and checking. And again another input. Again adding. Again checking. Likewise, it will get repeated up to 50 times. Okay, I hope you got it. දැන් තේරුණාද for loop කියන්නේ මොනවද කියලා? දැන් බලන්න මම මෙතන 1 enter 2 enter 3 enter 4 enter 5 enter. Likewise you can just enter. Okay, so here what you are actually going to do is you'll be just entering numbers for 50 times. That's what will happen. Am I clear? Is it clear?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So any doubts? Any doubts regarding for loop or while loop or do while loop? Any doubts? So there is another question. We'll do that as well, where it asks, okay, it says 20 students ලගාව ඉඳලා අර අන්තිමට එකක් තිබ්බනේ ඒකත් අදම කරලා ඉවර කරමු. හරි. So here input 2 marks and then find the total and average of them. 20 students ලගාව ඉඳලා ගන්න ඕනේ. So each student's total and marks කීයද කියලා මේ පෙන්නන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට කොහොමද? Yeah, from 1 how many times we have to repeat the program according to that question?
20.
20, very good. 20 times. Then we'll ask the user to enter the marks. 3 marks has to be taken, right? Enter marks. So let's change this as MK1, MK1, comma MK2, comma MK3. So this one is to MK1. MK1 will be taken and given. Let's copy this and again we'll repeat it. Again we'll repeat. So 3 times you're going to get inputs. Okay. So let's say, give me a minute. Friends, really sorry. One of my lecturer called me and was talking to me, so that's why I got delayed. So here, what you are doing the calculation. So then the time is up, right? So we'll wind up the session. In the next class, I'll do this and show you. Only there's one more questions to be done, right? Only this question has to be done. And soon after that is that we can proceed with the developing concept and Java. Okay. So soon after this is completed, we will be doing that only. If you have any doubts related to this, you may ask me, and I want you to do the like output and show it to me in the next class. Okay. Both take a picture of your coding and then the output. Okay. Run it and take the output as well and share both the outputs with you. Okay. Then we can wind up the session. If you have any questions, you may ask me. If not, we'll end up the session. If there is anything. Sorry. My mic was upside. Okay. So now you can hear me, right? Visual Studio is the IDE, son. IDE means this is what we call Visual Studio. Okay. So we use this as a platform to do programs, to code. Okay. Without having something like this, we can't build anything. We cannot build a software. Okay. So this is something which will help you to build a software. Okay. Visual Studio will help you to build a software. So that is why you have to download this. Now Zoom is helping you to communicate. WhatsApp is helping you to communicate. So in order to do coding, you have to have this Visual Studio software. It is a IDE. So then we'll wind up the session, Puta. It's almost 10:06, right? So then we'll continue in this next class. Okay. So see you all in the next class. Bye.